Hey, how do you handle the success of evil and wicked people? I mean, like, you're following God and you're doing what you're supposed to do and you're obeying and you seem to be fighting for everything that you have. And then you look over and you see wicked and even evil people who are being cruel, and yet they have the blessing that you wish you had. Friends, how do you handle that? And here I've got my cup of coffee and the Word of God, and today we're going to dig into this in Psalm 73. This week our topic is God's sufficiency and how we can be content because God is sufficient. And today what we're going to hear is that the author of Psalm 73, Asaph, actually starts out the psalm saying he is discontent. As a matter of fact, he says this in verse 2, "But as for me, my feet had almost slipped. I had nearly lost my foothold, for I envied the arrogant when I saw the prosperity of the wicked." Friends, Asaph is saying here that he looked around and he was doing everything that he needed to do, but yet everybody else was succeeding even more than he was. People who were disobeying, people who were rebelling, people who weren't living according to God's plan seemed to be doing better than he was. And so he begins to ask the question, what good is it for me to even follow you if these wicked people have the blessings that you're not giving me, God? And as he is struggling with this, as we all are struggling with this, I'm sure, he goes into the sanctuary. And he says this in verse 17, "Till I entered the sanctuary of God, then I understood their final destiny." Friends, when he entered the sanctuary of God, when he was in God's presence, all of a sudden he recognized and he realized that all of this that they have received is just temporary. It really means nothing. It amounts to nothing. It is just temporary. And he goes on to finally have this realization in verses 25 and 26, and he says this, "Whom have I in heaven but you? And earth has nothing I desire besides you. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever." Friends, he realizes and recognizes that God is the only one that brings true satisfaction to our lives. All the rest of the stuff that these wicked and arrogant and evil people have is all just going to fade. That is not what we are to pursue in our lives. What matters most, what is the most valuable thing that we could ever possess, is God's presence in our lives. It's a relationship with the Father. What do we have that compares to that? Is there anything else that comes close to the value and the security of knowing God? Everything else can fail. Everything else can fall away. But if we have God, we have more than enough. Friends, have a good day, knowing that you have God.